support 51, 40, 30, 18, and 10. Resistance on the upside at 68, 74, 82, 89, and 04, 4004. Okay, well, on the heels of the FOMC results from today, later on today at 1 o'clock, in which they will announce the interest rate hike in the United States. And we shall see what kind of activities that'll bring to this market. As you can see here over the last few hours, it's been not much, but then again, I don't really expect much to really happen, given the fact that we have to wait till later on this afternoon for the results from the FOMC. So it's going to be a while here before anything might happen. So this might be a very, very, very quiet morning all the way till the afternoon. We'll see if anything. Let's see if there's any numbers coming out this morning. Durable goods already came out. Retail inventories already came out. As you can tell, they didn't do much. Wholesale inventories already came out. They didn't do much. It's been pretty much flatlined for the overnight, and even this morning, they're really going to be waiting for the announcement. And let me see here if I can't fix that for you. I don't know why. I don't know why there, Don, you are. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you got that in there. I don't know why you. Oh, now you should be okay. You okay now? Okay. Cool. All right. So we do have pending home sales coming out here at 9 o'clock. But as you can tell, if retail inventories, they move the market, wholesale trades, durable goods, all those big numbers that move the market. And I doubt anything much will move the market. So we shall see. We shall see. All right. So let's see what happens here. Again, you can see here by the overnight action that it's going to be fairly quiet. We'll see if the 9 o'clock number gives us any movement. But I think most of the action will come tomorrow, Don. You'll be situated in this seat tomorrow, see all the action, the after effect of the announcement. We'll see what craziness happens. Now, obviously, if you're going to be trading it later on this afternoon, good luck. I don't like F days. F days seem to F me, so I will stay out of F days. My own personal opinion. So FOMC announcement is at 1 o'clock Chicago time, and then followed by the presser at 1:30. So not only will you have the volatility at 1, when they ask him questions and you have no idea what his answers are going to be, they will be followed by a Q&A And who knows what'll happen, as we are really stuck here in this range that we've been at for most of evening and day.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
Are we going to have any major news beside the Fed announcement this week that you know of right
Well,
offhand?
there is a whole bunch of numbers. I think GDP is supposed to come out tomorrow too. So
Okay.
either tomorrow or Friday, which I think tomorrow, because Yellen is giving a press conference at 2:00, probably to discuss the GDP number. Try to say that two consecutive quarters of negative GDP is not a recession. She's going to put a new definition on recession. Yeah, GDP is tomorrow, right?
Okay. Well, are you excited yet?
Oh yeah, I got my negative test results back, so now I'm good to go.
Excellent.
I am good to go. I got the negative test results back, and now I can start thinking about. I wasn't going to let myself think about it. I wasn't going to let myself get ready
Until it was time.
till I got my. I mean, I couldn't like jinx myself. I'm going to get ready, pack everything, and then I'm not going to go. So my wife kept telling me, "When are you going to get ready?" I was like, "Nope, not until I get my test result." There's no reason to, because if I get a negative test result or a positive test result, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not doing it. So, so that was pissing her off a little bit, because she likes to get, things, set and everything good, ready to go. And,
I know.
and I'm like, nope, I can't, not until I get a negative test result. No reason to.
If my wife was going to San Francisco, she'd already have the roadmap laid out. She'd already have, okay, we're going to go here. We're going to go here. We're going to do this. It's kind of like, we're on vacation.
Right. And I was like, I'm not planning a thing. Don't even talk to me about nothing, because I'm not doing it. I mean, I had to have practice. That was my only thing. And the boys were asking me, Coach, what if you don't come? I'm like, I don't know.
Well, y'all already know what to do. Just do it.
You're on your own. If I did my job right, you're on your own. You should be able to handle it by yourself. And they're like, no.
We've been sitting here talking about coaching basketball players, and there's so much of that applies to trading.
Yes.
It's kind of like, what happens when you don't show up? Well, you should know how to do it on your own.
That's true. That's true. That's actually the goal of our, obviously I say this all the time, it's the goal of the course here, so that you can, if you're going to take our education course, that's the goal, is for you to figure out where these numbers are, understand why we're picking them, and then trade them accordingly. And then when it gets more volatile, you have to, expand your horizons a little bit. Varsity players, high school varsity players, that's the age group.
Well, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
I'm looking for you to bring home the gold.
This is not one of my better teams, I'll be honest.
Hey.
I have a great player. I really do. I think he's phenomenal. But that's one player cannot carry the whole team, unfortunately. It's a 5-man team. But we'll see. He's going to carry us a long way. Let's put it that way.
Hey.
The JCC of Chicago. Oh, well, JCC of America. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not. They sponsor it, and we go. We've been to many cities, so it's kind of fun.
I expect to turn on the homepage and see your picture pasted up there with all the kids in a big old trophy and gold medals.
It's funny you say that. I have I have one of those. One of the parents, we had one. We won gold, and the kids were all clamoring around. And you know how the kids do it now. They put the as we come up here to our 68 level, by the way, they put the the medal in their mouth like they're going to bite it to make sure it's real. You know, they have that. I have one of those pictures. I do have one of those pictures,
That's
and
wonderful.
it's kind of cool. It is kind of nice. I mean, it is fun. Look when you when they all do what they're supposed to do, it's fantastic. You know.
Yep.
But this guy, this kid is he's going to be yeah, he's going to be good. It's just a matter of can I get some of the other kids to help, and if some of the other kids help, then we'll be all right. We'll see what happens.
Well, that's assuming everybody else is playing at 100%. Maybe they got COVID and got dinged also.
Right, that is a possibility. You know, the thing is that all the other teams are going to have the same situation.
Yeah,
they have to deal with testing and this and that. It'd be really a shame that nobody, if somebody gets positive,
yeah,
especially if they've been working hard and getting ready. But it's just the world we live in right now, and it's just the anxiety I got of going in for the test and then waiting for that result was brutal. I mean, I just like I've had positions on that I don't get so anxious on. I mean, it's like what's wrong with me? I don't know. I guess it's brutal. Did I play college? No, I did not play college. But I will tell you, I started coaching right after high school, and I was just an average player, nothing better. But I learned the game when I had to start teaching it, and I became a better coach because I was teaching the game.
yes.
So
I believe that's true in trading too.
yeah, I agree with that statement. So we have a nice rotation here off of a 68 area, just in case you would think I wasn't trading or watching. It didn't even didn't even have to worry about that one. Hopefully you were able to take advantage of this little rotation against our 68. This could be the only trade we get all day. I just want you to know that, because look at the range. I mean, we have basically covered the range in the last 10 minutes. We'll see if this 9 o'clock number, this could be it. At least we got a nice rotation against the 68 there, giving us some little cash. If you're going to stay till 1 o'clock and trade the FOMC, good luck. So yeah, no, let's call a spade a spade. Okay. I mean, I know that the administration is going to say, look, unemployment, it's the best it's ever been. The economy is chugging along, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, two negative pronouncements of GDP negative is pretty much, we are where we're at. I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. In a packed Wall Street week, the headlining act arrives. The Federal Reserve releases its decision on interest rates this afternoon with a hike of 75 basis points priced in by the market. The FOMC seeks to prove to investors that they are serious about reining in inflation. Traders, though, are likely to home in on cues for when the central bank will pause tightening. The CPI jump of 9.1% in June from a year ago, the highest rate in 40 years, accelerated from 8.6 in May, and the PPI surged to 11.3% in June, up from 10.9 in May. In response, traders started pricing in a 100 basis point hike in July, but the Fed officials quickly pushed back, and the public comments guiding them back to a 75% increase. A CME FedWatch tool puts probability of 75% on a 75 basis point hike for the July meeting, which is today, and a 24% probability of 100%, 100 basis point increase. For September, markets are pricing a 50 50% probability for a 50 basis point hike and a 42% chance of a 75% chance. So this is for the September meeting. This is what's already priced into the market. Now, again, if you look at the bond market here, the bond market we're at a 142 handle here. If that bond market goes up, those numbers do come down. So we're talking 50% for a 50 basis point rise and a 42% 75 point basis point rise in September next meeting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens today. Remember, the thing you have to concern yourself with today is not so much the announcement, which obviously will be big and there will be move. But I think everybody's priced in 75 points. Is the Q&A afterwards, which starts a half an hour after the announcement. It's at 1:30. So keep that in mind if you're going to be trading. You're going to get the initial jolt at 1, and then he starts talking, and that could last half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, I don't know. And that's going to create. If he says something slightly different, or sneezes in the middle of an answer, or coughs in the middle of an answer, they might take it one way, and then somebody else will take it another way. So just be a little bit cautious at that point in time, and that way, best thing to do is just to watch. And if you can't watch because you have to trade, then don't trade, don't watch at all. It's just crazy time, and the algorithms take over, and it just goes. It's even hard to even trade levels when they're doing that. Just being honest with you. Anyway, so debate over the size of the rate hike missed the point, said some analysts on Friday. The far more important issue is how far into restrictive terrain central bankers should lift the policy rate, and at what point will they choose to take the central bank's foot off the monetary brakes and allow the economy space to further absorb the rate shock the Fed has imposed on the economy to restore price stability. Boy, that is one big sentence there. Basically, what I said yesterday is that they have to see what happens now. They've done all these rate hikes. It's maybe another rate hike is going to be priced in for September, and then I think they got to just kind of see what happens, how the market reacts to it, how the economy reacts to it, how inflation reacts to it. I mean, they can't keep raising 75 basis points for forever, unless you let the economy absorb it a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see. At some point, they're going to have to see what happens. But these are all, like I keep saying, these are all like people guessing as to what might happen next, and this creates some volatility in the market, and which is what we like, but not the crazy volatility that you're going to get this afternoon. The volatility that we'll get post release of the number or the announcement, and we'll see how we'll play it out. And as long as we get some volatility post release, that'll be good.
It's kind of like trading a super ball that you've thrown real hard against the floor and didn't try to get on board.
Right. Exactly. I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, I mean that's true, and you just never know what they're going to say or do or react, whatever. But and they're when they started doing this, back in when the Fed had the financial crisis, they had to deal with something they never to deal with before. And so I think they did the right thing, and then they took a little bit too long to come out of it. And then now this thing with this, with COVID, they had to do kind of the same thing. When have we ever had a pandemic that the Fed was involved in? So that was another thing that the Fed had to deal with that's never had to deal with before. So these are like situations that they have to rewrite books, or there will be books written about how the Fed handled all this stuff. Everything you've learned in school prior to this stuff, if you took any economics classes or business classes, you could probably throw the books out. They're going to rewrite the books on all this stuff. So uh, it's new territory, and they're trying to deal with it. They did make the mistake with using the word transitory for a little bit too long. Maybe they could have used it for 2 days. Instead, they used it for 6 months, and then that created this little issue here. So anyway, sounded good. Let's put it that way, but that wasn't so much the case. And then now you got, then you throw in the Russia situation. They create another. They're throwing another thing that shouldn't. That wasn't in the cards. So, and how they're going to shut off the gas to Europe, which I think is going to be the next biggest problem that the world is going to have to deal with what Putin is doing to Europe with cutting off the gas. It could create a lot of turmoil, and we'll see how they manage it this year. Hopefully they can manage. Hopefully the winter won't be so bad, but who knows? I don't know. It's just something that they've never had to deal with before, and you don't. Even the ECB has to deal with that, and all the European Union has to deal with that. So it's a problem that again never has happened before. You would never thought that you're going to get choked off of. Whoever built that pipeline to Russia and thinking that they were never going to turn off the pipeline. Well, guess what? They're turning off the pipeline because you got the nut job there, who's a nut job, and that's what he's going to do. So we'll see. Everything's it's a world. We are living in a goofy world. That's all I can say.
That's an understatement.
I mean, this is it's just the goofy world. The information age. You get information. We do this Zoom room. I mean, this stuff would have never happened a few years back, and everybody gets information right away. It's pretty. It's great. It's fantastic. It's amazing. You have your phones that have so much power in them that you can do whatever. Like I made a tea time in San Diego when I go play golf. When I'm going out there on my phone, when I was on a golf course in Chicago. I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, how crazy is that? But that happens. So we are just in a now, and we can say that, Don, because we've seen it all so far.
But
the young kids.
I say that in something else. I'm getting to the point where nothing surprises me anymore.
No,
it's kind of like you just shake your head and say, "Well,
right." And that's also bad because I mean, that's also terrible. I mean, that nothing surprises you anymore because things are getting so out of hand.
Yeah,
everything that the crazy stuff doesn't surprise anybody anymore.
And I know everybody's got their own opinions about the gun situation, and that's fine. But I look back at it and I said, I think the situation really lies at home more than it lies everywhere else. But this is something else that really surprised me lately. We was at the hospital with the wife and was talking one of the nurses there, and she was talking about she didn't like to work psych week. And I asked her, I said, "Well, what is psych week?" She said, "Well, every month or so, or every other month, they have to take all the mental health issues that come through the hospital." And she says, lately, there just seems to be more and more and more of them. Everything from young kids to older folks. And I'm going, man, I just didn't realize that.
Yeah. You're right about the home thing for sure.
Yeah. We were always taught it starts at the home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the shooter in Highland Park in Illinois. he got his father signed for him to get a. He's had issues in the past. He here I don't know if I told you this. You heard about the shooter in
Yeah,
Huntington,
yeah, oh
right?
yeah.
Right. So my daughter actually taught him.
Oh no.
Okay. And it was a little bit too close for her, by the way. So she taught him when he was in. She was teaching at the time in eighth grade. Now she's teaching high school, but so she taught him, and they had the kid had many interventions from the school with his family, and they wanted to get the kid some help. And every time they had an intervention with the family, the dad refused. He said, "There's nothing wrong with my son."
Yeah.
And his kid was brought up in meetings because he was disruptive in school, and he was at every teacher's meeting. They was brought up, how do we handle this? What do we do? Let's try to do this. Let's try to do that. Let's try to do it. But at the end of the day, if your parent or the parent doesn't want or accept any help, it's pretty much null and void. You can't do anything about it. And basically, the dad, multiple times, they brought him in and they said, let's try to get him some help. He goes, no, there's nothing wrong with my son. And look what happened. I mean,
Yeah.
8 years later, unfortunately, and then the dad goes signs for his car to buy him a weapon so he can go buy guns. And then the kid has these guns, and the dad takes no responsibility. You should see his attitude, and he goes, "I didn't do anything wrong. I
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong," and he still doesn't take any responsibility. I mean, the parent. It all comes from the home. You
Yeah.
gotta have you. I guess you're never given any lessons on how to become a parent.
Yeah.
So you can go to school and learn to become a nuclear physicist or a doctor, or a surgeon,
Yeah.
a heart surgeon, but to become a dad or a mom, there are no classes.
Yeah, there's no owner's manual, that's for sure.
No,
And you can't give them back.
no, you can't give them back. And they're beautiful gifts. They're just beautiful gifts. Those kids, but my goodness, you gotta do your job. But you know,
And then I look back and I hear the statistical data that there's so many mothers raising children and the dads are not around. And so, and I'm going, all of this is coming forth. It's just taking a while to filter down through the systems.
yeah, 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 yeah. It is, like I said, it's the world we live in right now. There's no other. Sad.
Yeah.
And this is not it's not a political statement whatsoever. I just want everybody to know we're not.
Oh yeah.
We're not taking. We're
Yeah.
not politicizing this whatsoever. We're just talking because the market is not much is happening. Don't expect much to happen. We did have our first level triggered 68. We had a nice rotation off of that. Got 3-4 points easily. Now we're looking at 74. So I don't. I got. We try to stay very apolitical here,
Amen.
and so I just want to put that out there.
Yesterday somebody came in and I was answering a question for them, and I got to talking and visiting, and they said, well, what about this? I says, no, but I think it's going to do this. And I wasn't going to trade anymore. And I'm just trading away just to talk.
No,
Finally,
great.
I says, man, this is pretty nice. I'm kind of glad you came in. I'd have quit.
Uh-huh. There you go. See, and that's the thing. It's like both of us. We're trading while we're talking, and we're trading when we say something to anybody here. We're not just talking and not trading. So
Yeah.
I mean,
when you're not in the room or something like that, I'll be talking and I'll just say, hey, I'm not in a position. I'm watching and waiting, but if the setup's there, I'm going to take it. And but I've got to wait for it to set up. Other than that, I'm guessing.
Right. So when you're waiting for it and you're talking about it, and then it does set up, then you take it.
That's right.
And that's what happened, I guess, yesterday. You're
And
probably saying, no, I'm not
yeah.
buying it until it gets down to the 60 area. And sure enough, okay, I'm going to jump in here because the setup was there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be trading because you're not looking for it.
Yeah. And it kept throwing the setup there, and I kept taking it, and I get out, make a little bit, get out, then it come back down, and it's set up again. I take it again.
Right. Well, good for you. And I'm glad that was happening I'm glad it was happening when you're talking to somebody. So
Yeah.
and like we can never predict when a setup is going to work or not. We just trade the setup.
Yeah.
If it works, it's great. If it doesn't, get out and look for the next setup. I mean, that's this is trading. There's nothing here but it all depends on, you like to look at more opportunities to trade. I don't like to look at so many opportunities to trade.
Yeah.
And so everybody here has to know their limits and trade their limits. Just that simple. It's not that complicated. Anybody guys any add to this conversation? You can see we're just
jump on in.
Jump on in. Just come on in.
This is kind of like a hot tub. The more, the merrier.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I think you've been talking to Brad way too long. He's been quiet. Oh, we mentioned
there he is.
He pops in there. Yeah, there he is. That's good. That's good.
I miss the sunglasses.
Yeah, where are those? You got to send him one of those 10-gallon hats. He'd wear one of those too.
I know.
Just in case you were wondering, we did have this 9 o'clock, the spending home sales number that just came out, and as you can see, nothing. There's nothing that's moving this market right now. We had a whole slew of numbers. So tomorrow, you are okay. So I thought that they were going to release the stuff tomorrow from the FOMC, but they're doing it today. But you will have, before the market opens, you will have the GDP number, which again, because all of a sudden Yellen is deciding to have a press conference at 2 o'clock. So that means they're probably going to try to make a new definition of recession and tell everybody that we're not in one. So that the number is going to be a negative number.
I was trying to explain to the fellow yesterday, and says, you get to the point to where you don't trade around the news. You just get out, let the news do its thing. Then you go back to trading.
Right. Once it absorbs the news. Right.
Yeah. Because all we're trading is price action after this point. And, around 11 or 12 o'clock, it get kind of slow yesterday. So I was surprised there was even any trades, but they were setting up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. All right, Philip. You too. Have a good day. See, this is good discipline by Philip.
I'm telling you.
He's good. I love that. I just love that.
He makes money and leaves. I like it.
How can you go wrong, man? It's just, how can you go wrong?
I just I'm getting greedy. I'll keep wanting to make more. That's where it bites me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the more you trade, the more opportunities you're going to have to make money, but also there's going to be that string of losses. You're like, oh God, okay, I got to get it back. Oh God, I got to get it back. Oh God, I ain't getting it back.
That's true.
Oh goodness.
You never quit. You may be down, but you just don't quit.
No, and again, all that's happening is that you keep giving money to the brokerage house, which is one thing that we try not to do around here. Not to do.
I know yesterday I traded a bunch. I'm going, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I was on a roll. I couldn't quit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going good, my theory is this, that you keep trading until you have one loss. If you exceeded your expectations or your goals for the day and you want to keep trading, you can keep trading. But if you have the first loser, you got to stop. You can't chase to get it back.
Yeah.
You just got to stop. That's it. Okay. If you made money, you made money. But then if you get that one loss and then you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to try to get it back. I had a good day and I'm done. So that's how I would deal with having a good day and you keep trading, at what point do you say you stop? At that point when you're just like, okay, I'm gonna just trade until I have that one loss and then I'm done. All right, so we have the presser at 1:30 and the release of the economic reports um, at uh, at 1.
They're gonna have it at 1 or 1:15.
No,
Fed announcements
they'll
at
release
1.
it at 1,
Okay.
and then they'll have the presser at 1:30.
Okay.
No, they will. They're always very prompt about that.
Who was it? Was it Bernanke that he never came out on time?
Well, and maybe for the presser, but they always release.
I mean, even the release, if it said 1, it may be 1:05 before it came out for some reason.
Yeah. Well, that's because. Well, no. Well, you know what happens is that um, like CNBC, they already have the report, so they're told not to release the bullet points until 1 o'clock, so they know what's going to be said. So it's up to them when they release it.
Yeah.
Because they it's just like you have a number at 7:30, like unemployment. The press has the number. They're just bound by not releasing it. They're told, but to not release it until until the until 7:30 exactly. But somebody always has it.
Yeah. I know when I go to look to buy pullbacks, bottom line is I suck at it. I'm jumping in too close, too far up. I'm not waiting.
Yeah, patience is important, and there's really it is what it is. You got to just be patient here, and especially in these tight little ranges, not much is happening. All right, just kind of stuck here in the range.
The guy yesterday was asking, why isn't anybody posting? I'm going, everybody's finished.
Yeah, finished, or they just people just don't like to talk sometimes. I get that.
Yeah. You get all engrossed in what's going on, and you think, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And then you miss so many trades because you say, okay, we're coming exactly to this, and it stops short.
Right. I mean, that's true. I know. The worst is when you miss it by a couple ticks, and you're right. You were right in there waiting, and then it just doesn't. You don't get filled.
I like the one. He comes down within one tick of it and stops. It's kind of
Right?
like, well,
Isn't that terrible? I mean, that's just like, and the worst part is when it's really, really busy.
yeah. Well, at least you know the level was good.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That doesn't give you much. You know.
You don't make much, but at least I was telling somebody the other day. I went to a webinar, and I was sitting in on it. And the title of the webinar is, do you want to be right or do you want to make good decisions? And I've thought about that. I'm going, and his premise was, we all want to be right. And
right, exactly.
But
you can't always be right every time.
Yeah. So it's better just to make good decisions, It's kind of like what you've said in the past, there's nothing wrong with taking a profit.
No.
So we didn't run it to 20 points. But we made money on the trade. We go to the next one.
Right. Right.
And I've liked that. I'm slowly but surely adopting that philosophy. And
right, okay.
So if I only get a point or two out of a trade and it runs to 15, that's great. I didn't have enough confidence in the trade to begin with, but I took the trade.
Right.
And I was trying to explain to him the other day. I said, he says, well, you sure believe in these numbers? I said, it took me a while.
Yeah.
And I said, I had to prove to myself. And then every day of watching these numbers, for the first 3 months, I didn't trade a one of them. I'm going, I want to see if they work. And I wrote them down. And then after you get slapped in the face enough that was almost the high of the day or the low of the day, you think, these numbers seem to work pretty good. It's not a one-time deal.
Right. Yeah.
That's been several years back, so I can tell you the numbers still work.
Oh, thanks. All right. Okay. All right. Well, just not surprising, just kind of hanging in a range here.
Yeah, maybe one of these days we'll be able to sit down together in front of a computer. I got a bucket load of questions for you.
It would have been nice if you were able to come to Chicago and sit by me on the floor, but unfortunately that's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have happened,
Yeah.
Think about it, but who knew what was going to happen? Who knew that we weren't going to have a floor anymore?
We're working our way out of COVID. Now we got monkeypox to deal with. So who knows what's next?
I know, right? It's just nuts. Now, well, that goes back to the information flow.
Yeah.
The information flow these days are so there. So it is what it is.
You can look at the numbers and you can listen to all the analysts but if you just watch the price action, it's telling you what it's doing.
Yeah, I mean, you need explanation sometimes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people jump in here and they don't get the explanation.
I tell you what, I like to see the market make a big move, then turn on the TV and see what they're telling you why it did it. So why didn't y'all tell me this beforehand?
Right. I know, right? And yesterday's break, kind of strange, right? I mean, they just kind of broke it down.
Yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of, and then they're right back here in this range. And this range is the middle of the range from the highs and the low. We're right in the middle.
Yeah, from 1 o'clock to 3, it was brutal, and I was long in that spot.
Yeah, it looked. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Anyway,
I had just gotten out of it. Then it started tumbling, and I'm going, what in the world? So I started buying my levels, going back up, and it took me to the close to finally work my way out of it.
Yeah, well, so you stayed a little close.
Oh, yeah.
Your wife should take you out a little bit more.
We were doing something one day, and I said, man, where did that bill? I says, we need to get out more. There's just stuff happening all around us we don't even know about.
Well, we're inching our way up here to 74. Again, it's just a quiet little trade. It's not our favorite trade, let's put it this way. This is not the trade that we like, but if you're going to take it, fine. If not, if you're done for the day, I get it. If you're happy with the trade off of the 68 area, that's cool. We don't have to trade. Just remember that. Got up here to 73 here now.
I wish there was a way that you could teach people. You go on YouTube and you look around, and there is just anything you can think of trading. Somebody's got a video out there on it already.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, how do you teach folks really to trade? And I don't think they're teaching the important thing, like the psychological part.
Yeah, well, that's the hard part. Because everybody's got different psychological ways of handling things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not one person here that handles it the same way. I mean, look, I stood around 600-700 traders, and everybody handled it differently. So that is very hard to quantify and say this is what you have to do, because everybody deals with pressure differently.
Yeah.
It's just like, I hate to bring it back to basketball, but if you need to score a basket, you give it to your best player who can handle the pressure, because you know that another player can't handle the pressure. And it's the same thing with trading. We can talk about psychology and how you're supposed to handle something, but you just, if it's not in your mental makeup to handle the pressure, it's hard to do. So it's a very tough little, a tough little trade there.
I think about the story you used to tell about, you knew a lot of really good traders, and you knew how they traded, but it didn't fit you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I could never trade some of these guys. What the things that they did, I can never do.
Yeah.
I can never do what they do.
So I guess when you're training a trader, you have to go back and say, okay, first of all, what's your skill level, and then work from there.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you find is weak spots?
But the weak spot for one person is not a weak spot for another.
Yeah, but when you start with a new person, would you find their weak spot, then try to work from their weak spot out?
Right. Well, right. You do have to talk to them and see, what are they doing? Because you really can't talk to them about that. You have to see what their trade is and how they got in, and then you have to understand what their weak spot is at that point. You have to try to, determine what their weak spot. Because I don't think people know what their weak spot is, because they think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So unless you actually break down a trade, get the trade, break it down, explain to them, or they explain to you what they did, and then you say, well, you shouldn't have done that, and then you have to tell them this is why you shouldn't have done that, and then let's see if they can adjust or fix it. So, well, it's tough. Okay, we did get down to 73 and then had a nice rotation there if you did jump in. Now we're up here at 74.
They got to regain that 4,000 level if they want anybody to have any confidence in them.
Well, I mean, they're pretty. Look, bond market. If the bond market keeps going up, I think they will get back. If the bond market gets 140, stays at a 143 or 144 handle, I think you'll see S&P's back at about 4,000.
Is tomorrow going to be the telltale day?
I think you're going to be. It all depends. Okay, if you did trade the 74 here, you're getting a nice rotation off of that level. Hopefully, you just jumped in there. If you jumped in there, you did good. So our levels are working very nicely here on a very slow day. Just take what the market gives us. Again, 2.5 points. Just take it. Be happy. Tomorrow, you know what? It's all going to depend on perception. What if the GDP number is not so bad? We'll see what maybe if it's just a little bit negative instead of a lot negative. And then you have to see if your gas prices continue to lower and the inflation number keeps coming down. You have to like I said before, you have to absorb the interest rate hikes and get to see how the economy deals with it. Because right now they keep raising rates. They're not really letting the economy deal with it. Like somebody said, the housing number is cooling off because interest rates are going up. Well, is the housing number going to continue to cool off over the next 2-3 months? So you have to let all these the fundamentals adjust, and then the technicals will adjust.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time. You have to let everything kind of play itself out. Doesn't happen just because you raise rates one day doesn't mean the economy is good again the next. So.
Well, I know lumber prices have come down, but they haven't come. The material prices in general for house building is still through the roof.
Right. Yeah. So a friend of mine who does a lot of that said that you used to be able to fix something up for about $200 a square foot. Now you're probably about $300 a square foot.
Yeah. Used to around here, you could contract the house for $100 to $125 a square foot.
Right here also, but now it's definitely higher. It got up to 200. Now it's at 3.
When I worked for a builder, when I was going to college, we built spec homes, and back then we were selling those spec homes for $20 a square foot, and he thought he was just getting filthy rich.
Yeah. Well, he was.
Yeah, back then, I guess so. And concrete was $25 a yard. The good old days.
Yeah. 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 Good old days. That's funny. All right. Nice rotation there against the 24 area. Maybe some of you jumped in there. Hopefully you did. 74. And you did okay with the 68. And I think we could be good to go today.
I'm done.
Yeah, I know. Me too. You got the ball for tomorrow and the rest of next week.
Lord help us.
I got complete confidence. Complete confidence.
I'm glad someone does.
I have more confidence in you than I have in my team. How's that?
Well, I got confidence in your team. I think they're going to do real well.
The thing is this: I compare them to other teams I had, and they're definitely a cut below, obviously, but uh, I don't know how the other teams are going to be, so I have to just take one thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to play what is, not what it's
Right,
what you think it's
exactly.
going to be. Yeah.
Right. I don't know what's going to be there. But as a coach, you have to take each game as it comes. Like, I don't know who the other team is, what players they have. You have to adjust to who they have. I'm assuming that my kid is going to get a lot of attention. So, that's why I'm hoping that some of my other players step up, because they're going to have opportunities.
Yeah.
Because they're going to spend a lot of time. The other team is going to spend a lot of time on my kid, and the good one, and hopefully the other kids step up. If they do, then we'll be okay.
It sounds like you're just stepping into the market.
That's right.
Just trade it as it opens up. Where are we going?
Jump in there and let's see what happens. Then make the adjustments. That's exactly it. Exactly right. All you can do is make adjustments once you get in. Manage a trade. We talk about that. So you're right. Basketball coaching and trading is the same.
I just hadn't figured out how to equate it to fishing yet.
No, that fishing is got its own little. I can't figure out fishing either. I did it once. That's it.
You did it once.
That's it. I'm done. I was like, this cannot be all there is to it. Is sit here with a pole in your hand and then what? And then wait and wait. And I mean, I just don't have the capacity.
That's like trading. I guess we wait a lot.
Yeah, I just don't have the capacity to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong here.
That's what you take the ice chest for.
I'm like, what is going on here?
You enjoy your waiting time.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But if you fished up there, I'm assuming you fished out in the lake.
No.
Oh.
The Lake Michigan?
Yeah.
No, you can't. No, that's not possible.
Because that's like fishing in the Gulf.
You can, definitely you can, but it's not. I don't think it's doable.
See, around here we got marsh and swamps and bayous and everything else. So, but it's still, you go someplace and sit. Well, we don't sit. We keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
If it gets hot, we create a wind. That's what them outboards are for. And two is we ain't catching any fish. It's kind of like, let's go home. We run back and put it on trailer and bring it to the house. We're not 15 minutes. I can be back at the house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you. That's good.
But man, that body of water by you, that's a pretty good size hole.
It is. It is. It's a very big hole, but for those of us who like that big hole, it'd be perfect. I just
do y'all get people out there lost every year?
As far as on a boat?
Yeah, they go out in the boat and just get lost.
It's hard to get lost because in the background, all you got to do is kind of go towards the skyline. The skyline is pretty big in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So you can see the skyline. I mean, you could see like parts of Indiana on a clear day from Chicago. So it's not. I mean, you should be able to see the skyline. That's all I can say.
Or just wait till after dark and wait for the glow.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. So
Well, this is kind of like watching grass grow.
yeah, I think we're kind of pretty much done here. Again, we kind of hung in there with everybody. Hopefully, things hopefully did okay with considering how slow it is. And I remember later on this afternoon, the the Fed is going to release its announcement. So that's going to be part of the consideration if you're going to be trading. Otherwise, just be patient and wait for the market to give you some kind of indication as to what's going to happen next.
And if you don't believe how fast it moves, turn on a 1 minute chart at 1 o'clock and watch it bounce.
I mean, that's insane. Yeah,
It will move. Well, Brother Saul, I hope you have a wonderful trip and good luck to both of you. All of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And if you need something, you know how to get a hold to me. And
yeah, will do.
Other than that, I think I'm going to shut it down to 1. I'm going to come back and watch.
All right, watch is the key word. You do that.
Take care.
All right, take it easy. Thanks a lot again.
No problem.